What is up, world? What is up with the Indiana Fever? Caitlin Clark seems to be a little different. Is it because she truly doesn't know who has her back?
Stretches that are really good, there's be stretches that aren't as good, and obviously it's frustrating. You want them to go in and...
Caitlin Clark just dropped a brutal bombshell on the Indiana Fever after watching her own teammates disappear under pressure, while drama wrecks the locker room.
The Barbie Brawl, where I've noticed a change in Caitlin Clark's body language. But you got all of these other women who are, supposedly teammates of Caitlin Clark. No one's helping.
With zero structure, no toughness, and no leadership, Clark is isolated, exhausted, and forced to carry the team as rivals target her every single game.
Caitlin Clark can't function when things aren't aligned. And it seems like things are in a disarray. Seems like the locker room is split.
The Indiana Fever just lost to the Las Vegas Aces 89-81. This was a game they should have won, had in the bag, and managed to throw away like a bunch of amateurs. The Fever's entire season so far has been nothing but a giant mess. No identity, no rhythm, no energy, no grit. Just Caitlin Clark, out there every single night, dragging this franchise on her back like a college student carrying group project freeloaders to graduation.
First thing I'm going to point out is this team has no camaraderie. The second thing is they don't have any identity.
Now Caitlin Clark finally broke her silence after this latest embarrassment. You could hear the frustration in her voice as she politely tried to sugarcoat how miserable this is becoming. She literally admitted that her biggest challenge now is staying confident and impacting other areas.
We don't want to see Caitlin Clark lose her confidence on the court. We don't want to see her energy be drained from her. We don't want to see her lose that spark, because that is the DNA of Caitlin Clark.
Which means she's out there doing everything while her teammates are basically napping courtside. I mean, seriously, imagine being one of her teammates and hearing that. Wouldn't you be a little embarrassed? No? Well, clearly they aren't, because the laziness continues.
This team looks like they go just as Caitlin Clark goes. Yes, she does a fine job of putting players in positions because of her IQ, the way that she can pass the ball.
Let's talk numbers, because the numbers don't lie, even if this team keeps lying to themselves. Clark had a rough shooting night against the Aces. She went 7 for 20 from the field, and a brutal 1 for 10 from the three-point line. You hearing that? 1 for 10, and it gets worse because over her recent stretch, she's gone 1 for 17 from deep. That's unheard of for the most hyped shooter in the league.
There is no set offense. It looks like they just go. We saw Caitlin Clark kind of throw a snub at Coach White, saying that I want to play a little bit faster, but we're playing the way that Coach wants us to play.
And you know what's even scarier? For the first time ever, she actually passed up a wide-open three-pointer. Caitlin Clark passed on a shot. That's like Steph Curry turning down a buzzer beater. It doesn't happen. Unless, of course, your confidence is in the basement because your entire team is leaving you out there to dry.
But also because it seemed like there was something off with this Fever team. They didn't have the same energy and spark that we all know and love. So many fans are asking, what is going on?
But it gets better or worse depending on how much you enjoy watching a train wreck in real time. Let's rewind to the infamous Barbie Brawl. You remember that, right? The moment Caitlin Clark got shoved to the ground and every single person in a Fever jersey stood there like they paid for front row seats instead of actually being in the game. Locker room chemistry? Yeah, non-existent. Team camaraderie? You're more likely to find Bigfoot than see these women defend each other.
Don't know. Ever since the Barbie Brawl, you guys noticed Caitlin Clark gets pushed down. This is your franchise player. Not only is this the franchise player, this is the face of the league.
And let me call out Aaliyah Boston for a second, because I know people love her. She's talented, I get it. But where's the fire? Where's the toughness? She's got the size, the skill, the respect. But when it comes to protecting your star teammate, nowhere to be found. You can't be an enforcer if you're more concerned about being polite on the court than throwing your weight around when your franchise player gets bulldozed.
None of her teammates came to her defense. Aaliyah Boston, great woman, gentle giant. She's just not like this, so we can't begrudge her for that, okay, guys? But you got all of these other women.
Meanwhile, shout out to Sophie Cunningham, the only real one left standing. Mrs. Karate Kid herself, black belt and all, actually shows she has Caitlin's back. It's no surprise her jersey sold out because Fever fans are desperate to see at least one person on this team with some fight in them. Sophie, Lexi Hull, and Clark, the trio actually trying. Everyone else might as well be seat fillers.
No one's helping, which is why Sophie Cunningham jersey sold out, because Mrs. Karate Kid, aka Black Belt, she comes to Caitlin Clark's aid. She shows that she actually has her back and that she actually has heart. They hang out a lot.
Right now, the Indiana Fever looks less like a basketball team and more like a bad reality show with a side of WNBA drama. Off-court issues? Check. On-court dysfunction? Check. Star player losing faith in her squad? Triple check.
But ever since that moment, guys, Caitlin Clark seems to be a little different. Is it because she truly doesn't know who has her back? And a lot of these women who are not heterosexual, guys, let me repeat that.
But hey, while Clark is out there getting wrecked, you know who's loving this? Every single rival in the league, that's who. Caitlin Clark became the face of the WNBA overnight, and that target on her back is massive. DJ Carrington literally poked her in the eye trying to snatch some headlines. Angel Reese is out here fueling trash talk, building her villain persona, and all these players want to cash in on the drama Clark brings without putting in half the work.
I think the little things, we've kind of just shot ourselves in the leg consistently doing that.
But I guess through all of this, what I'm trying to say is we do not know what is going on.
And where are Clark's teammates while this is happening? Turning a blind eye, standing around, avoiding the dirty work because actually defending your superstar is apparently too much to ask. Clark thrives when there's edge, when there's competitiveness, when there's trash talk. But the Fever's weak, soft team culture has muzzled her. They've forced her to carry the offense solo while dodging conflict, which is basically impossible when your whole game is built on being fierce, competitive, and unapologetic.
She struggled that game. There were things that seemed off about her game. However, she still put up 19 points and 10 assists. She still had a double-double in that regard, and she had 3 rebounds as well.
Other teams literally say, if this happened to our teammate, we'd set it off. But in Indiana, everyone's asleep at the wheel. This team wants the fame, the highlight reels, the jersey sales. But when it comes to grit, heart, and defending their own, nowhere to be found. Caitlin Clark deserves better, period.
Feeling off at all from 3 or anything like that?
No, I mean, there's going to be stretches that are really good, and there's going to be stretches that aren't as good, and obviously it's frustrating. You want them to go in, and even tonight I felt like there was a few that felt really good off my hand, and it just didn't go down.
And speaking of toughness, let's talk about the free throw line. If you want to measure grit, look no further than this stat. Las Vegas shot 21 free throws. Indiana? They managed a pathetic 9 trips to the line. That is physical dominance, plain and simple. The Fever are soft. They're not attacking. They're not demanding fouls. They're just existing, standing around waiting for Clark to bail them out. That free throw disparity tells you exactly who's tough and who's folding under pressure.
One shot that she passed up. Now, she had been missing a few shots, and if you guys were on my live stream, I said the thing that she needs to do is to continue shooting. Shooters.
But none of this should surprise anyone, considering what's happening behind the scenes. The locker room is basically a circus. Off-court drama, ideological clashes, personality differences, it's all fueling the collapse. You've got Dana Bonner missing 5 straight games, a veteran leader just MIA when they need stability the most. Meanwhile, Coach Christie's sides has taken so many personal days. I'm starting to wonder if she even remembers where the court is. How can you build team chemistry when your coach is off dealing with her own mess and your veteran presence is nowhere to be seen?
Caitlin Clark, and I feel like this was the very first time that we saw maybe a dip in her confidence or something else was going on. And I don't want to speculate and say that it is that. She might also be sick.
It's obvious to anyone paying attention. This team starts hot, shows a little flash of energy, and then crumbles the moment real pressure hits. Smarter teams, tougher opponents, they pick Indiana apart with ease. And when they do, there's no one on the Fever stepping up, challenging officials, demanding respect. Coach sides? She's missing in action when the game gets heated. Players? They're more worried about their social media than their stat lines. It's like watching a ship drift aimlessly at sea, and honestly, the Titanic had more direction than this squad.
And so it's just frustrating, and I think for the challenge for myself going forward is just continue to pour into every other aspect of the game, and I can continue to have an impact in, all those other areas. I thought I got to the rim well. It was just,
Without enforcers, without vocal leaders, Caitlin Clark is completely isolated. She's carrying the expectations, the pressure, the hopes of an entire fan base, while everyone else on the roster is busy contributing absolutely nothing when it matters most. And here's where the real bombshell lands. Caitlin Clark's post-game remarks weren't just frustration, they were warning signs. You can see it, the exhaustion, the mental strain, the constant spotlight is finally cracking her. Passing up open shots, her body language flat, visibly stressed out, and it's only getting worse.
She was feeding the ball to Aaliyah Boston. She was getting her teammates involved. She was taking it to the rim, and she did miss some shots around the rim,
But instead of protecting their biggest star, the Fever, the league, the media, they're all cashing in on the drama. Ratings are up. Merch is flying off the shelves. Headlines are everywhere. But when it comes to actually building around Caitlin properly, nothing. No toughness, no structure, no backbone. They want the fame, the money, the headlines, but refuse to do the work that keeps a generational player like Clark from burning out. And if they don't fix this fast, bring in leadership, unify the locker room, find enforcers who actually protect their star, Caitlin Clark's frustration is going to explode. And Indiana? They'll be remembered as the team that completely wasted the biggest talent women's basketball has seen in decades. The Indiana Fever better wake up fast, or they'll be remembered as the team that wasted Caitlin Clark. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more breakdowns.